Good afternoon and welcome to the SOURCEBIO International PLC AGM proceedings. Throughout this recorded presentation, attendees will be in listen-only mode. Questions are encouraged and can be submitted any time via the Q&A tab situated in the right-hand corner of your screen. Simply type in your question and press send. The company may not be in a position to answer every question submitted today. However, all questions will be reviewed with responses published on the Investor Meet Company platform. I'd now like to hand you over to Jay LeCue, Chairman. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Mark. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jay LeCue, Executive Chairman of the company, and I would like to welcome you to the annual general meeting of the company. It is now midday, a quorum of shareholders is present, and I declare the annual general meeting of the company open. As you know, today's meeting was called by a notice of annual general meeting dated 9 May 2022. The notice contains details of both ordinary and special resolutions, and this meeting has been called to consider and, if thought fit, pass those resolutions. I propose to deal with each resolution in turn. Equinity, the company's registrars, has been appointed to act as scrutineers. Unless there are any questions to the board concerning matters referring to in the notice, then I propose that we proceed to the formal business of the meeting. After formal business is concluded, shareholders will have an opportunity to ask general questions about the business. I will now proceed to put the resolutions to the meeting. The actual terms of the resolution are set out in the full notice. Unless any member has any objection, I propose to take the notice as read. If you do wish to ask a question, would you please state your name and the number of shares you hold or represent? Myself, together with other members of the board, will deal with any questions as appropriate. Now to the formal business of the meeting, the resolutions. The default position under the company's Articles of Association is for voting to take place by a show of hands. However, as chairman and pursuant to the company's Articles of Association, I instead request that voting take place on a poll. I also understand that the notice of the AGM strongly advised all shareholders to appoint the chairman of the meeting as their proxy prior to this meeting to ensure their vote is counted. As such, a poll has been demanded for each resolution in accordance with the company's Articles of Association, and all voting has been completed prior to the meeting. For each resolution below, every shareholder present has been entitled on a poll to one vote for each share held by him or his or her appointer. A person entitled to more than one vote need not cast all his votes in the same way. If you have completed and returned your proxy form, your votes will automatically be counted in the poll. The poll is now closed. I appoint the company's registrar, Equinity, as scrutineers to certify the result of the poll. Resolution 1 is an ordinary resolution to approve the annual report and accounts for the financial year ended 31 December 2021, together with the director's report, including the strategic report and the auditor's report. The scrutineers have now completed the counting of the votes, and the result of the poll is that 54,501,649 votes have been cast in favor of the resolution, and 1,500 votes have been cast against the resolution. This represents a 100% majority in favor of the resolution. As a simple majority is required for the resolution to be passed, I declare that the resolution carried. Resolution 2 is an ordinary resolution to approve Director's Remuneration Report for the financial year 31 December 2021. The scrutineers have now completed and counted the votes, and the result of the poll is that 54,496,283 votes have been cast in favor of the resolution, and 6,866 votes have been cast against the resolution. This represents 99.99% majority in favor of the resolution, and as a simple majority is required for this resolution to be passed, I declare this resolution is carried. Resolution 3 is an ordinary resolution to reappoint RSM UK Audit LLP as auditor to the company to hold office from the conclusion of this meeting until the conclusion of the next meeting at which the accounts are laid before the company, and to authorize the directors to fix their remuneration. The scrutineers have now counted the voting, and the result of the poll is that 54,501,499 votes have been cast in favor of the resolution, and 1,650 votes have been cast against the resolution. This represents a 100% majority in favor of the resolution, and as a simple majority is required for the resolution to be passed, I declare the resolution carried. Resolution 4 is an ordinary resolution giving the directors authority to allot equity securities. The scrutineers have now completed the counting of the votes, and the result of the poll is that 54,488,761 votes have been cast in favor of the resolution, and 14,388 votes have been cast against the resolution. This represents 99.97% of the majority of in favor of the majority of the resolution. A simple majority is required for the resolution to be passed, and therefore I declare this resolution is carried. Resolution 5 is a special resolution allowing the disapplication of preemption rights in relation to securities issued under Resolution 4. The scrutineers have now completed the counting of the votes, and the result of the poll is that 54,454,524 votes have been cast in favor of the resolution, and 20,202 votes have been cast against the resolution. This represents a 99.96% majority in favor of the resolution, and as a 75% majority is required for this resolution to be passed, I declare the resolution is carried. Resolution 6 is a special resolution allowing the company to market purchases under certain conditions as laid out. The scrutineers have now completed the counting of the votes, and the result of the poll is that 54,497,703 votes have been cast in favor of the resolution, and 5,446 votes have been cast against the resolution. This represents a 99.99% majority in favor of the resolution, and as a 75% majority is required for the resolution to be passed, I declare this resolution carried. That concludes our formal agenda today. So I bring the AGM to a close. Many thanks for your attendance. Myself and my fellow directors will remain here for a little longer while I provide a brief business update and take questions from the shareholders. This short business update was also released by RNS this morning, after which myself and my board colleagues will be happy to take any questions. SOURCEBIO has traded well since 31st December 2021, and the board is pleased with progress in the year to date. The board is focused on utilizing the group's strong balance sheet and cash to accelerate growth in its three core business units: healthcare diagnostics, genomics, and stability storage, organically and by earnings-enhancing acquisitions. The highlight of the period has been the exceptionally strong market demand for our cellular pathology services within the healthcare diagnostics business unit, which has been driven by the continued shortage of pathologists, coupled with the increasing momentum of elective surgeries coming back into the system. As expected, the timing of the acquisition of LDPath on 8 March has proved to be very favorable to assist the NHS and private healthcare providers in managing this increasing workload of cases. The integration of LDPath within SOURCEBIO is progressing well, with LDPath trading ahead of plan. In addition, the overperformance of the pre-existing cellular pathology business within Source has enabled the combined businesses to deliver record-breaking volumes and revenues from cellular pathology services. The genomics business unit has had a healthy start to the year and now also includes the recently launched precision medicine business line. As the business is expanding its testing services offering, it is now working to fit out planned larger premises in Cambridge, which it aims to move into during Q4 of the year. This has been a critical investment to underpin the future growth plans of the business. The stability storage business unit's focus is to further grow its highly profitable and recurring revenue stability storage services and service and validation business lines. The 3 stability storage facilities have benefited from investment and expansion in recent years to support this expected growth. The group has also ceased in-house manufacturing of stability storage equipment, which was immaterial in revenue terms and unprofitable. We continue to invest organically and pursue strategically relevant and earnings-enhancing acquisitions to augment the growth of these 3 core businesses and further strengthen our capabilities and offerings to our customers. The group remains well positioned to support its customers and their requirements, and we remain optimistic for the remainder of the year and beyond. The board would also like to thank shareholders for their continued support and all our dedicated staff and suppliers for their hard work and efforts. We look forward to providing updates on the group's trading and progress in due course. So now we can open up for any questions if we have any.
Thank you, Jay. Ladies and gentlemen, do please submit your questions using the Q&A tab situated in the right-hand corner of your screen. Simply click Q&A, scroll to the bottom, type your question and press send. While the company may not be in a position to answer all of those questions, they will have the opportunity to provide responses where appropriate to do so post-event. Jay, if I may just hand back to you, and if we do have questions through, if you could just read out where appropriate to do so and give your response. Thank you.
Sure. We've got a question from Andrew. What is the approximate split between NHS and private healthcare customers for the healthcare diagnostics business unit, and do you see that as a likely ongoing split? Yes, the percentage is probably, I'm doing the math because LDPath had a considerable private healthcare customer base. Something like 60% of their revenues were from private healthcare. SOURCEBIO did not have as strong of a penetration in the private healthcare market, which is one of the reasons we did the acquisition. So I would say the combined business unit at this point is probably 40% private, 60% NHS, and we are putting in place strategies to secure both sides of that business. We want to grow into private healthcare more than we've done, and we certainly want to do more with as many NH trusts as we can. Well, I believe if that's the end of the questions, thank you to everyone for coming and supporting the business, and I declare the meeting over.
That's great. Jay, thank you and the board for updating attendees today. Can I please ask attendees not to close the sessions? You will now be automatically redirected to provide your feedback in order the board can better understand your views and expectations. This will only take a few moments to complete and is greatly valued by the company. On behalf of the board of SOURCEBIO International PLC, I would like to thank you for attending today's annual general meeting proceedings. Thank you and good afternoon to you all.